So, spawning down in the bottom right-hand position. Spawning as the purple Protoss player. It is GoOdy. And his opponent in the top left, the blue Terran. It is NeBu. Okay, so I've been reliably informed from my chat that apparently workers don't stack, which is something that I thought did happen previously, but apparently I was wrong. For those of you just tuning in now, don't really know what's going on with Starbow. Basically, each worker returns 8 minerals and 8 gas per trip. That means way more than in StarCraft 2. One base plays stronger, everything changed around. Unit pathing completely different. Fights generally take longer. It's a smash up of StarCraft 2 and Brood War. And basically, everything's awesome in the world. So yeah, this is cool. Now, as we can see, probe coming out at the moment, and one thing I did want to check, and I've switched back to my to the normal StarCraft 2 interface, just so we can see all of this. I am aware that my overlays are a bit annoying, so I've fixed those now as well. Yeah, this is obviously a very different game to StarCraft 2. Even though it looks incredibly similar, so much different going on. Players opting to get gas, or at least both players now opting to get gas relatively early because of the additional mineral income coming from each pullback. Now, one thing I did want to have a look at was this. The Couragean Citadel. I can't even say that, but Citadel is what I'm going to call it from now on. Upgrades to Nexus with the Citadel, enabling it to use the Chrono Boost and Rift abilities. Okay, so that's why Chrono Boost was there. Chrono Boost isn't down as standard for Protoss players, which is pretty cool. Of course, Warp Gate Tech not in there either. Stalkers are still in the game, but they're a support strider as opposed to an assault striker. Otherwise, Warp Gate Tech obviously comes down from you require a Cybernetics Core and a Templar Archives to get it, so a lot later. And now let's take a look over the Terran side, because I haven't really spoken about those as of yet. Okay, so, big things about this. Orbital Command not quite done, but mules do not exist in Starbow, which makes me very, very happy. Anyway, as things are still going, of course, let's take a look at some of these units. Marauders are still in the game, but they're a lot weaker. Their range is a lot lower. You've also got Medics making a new appearance. Basically, like ground-based medevacs without the drop capability. Dropships are still in the game, but they do not heal. So, down in the bottom right-hand position, GoOdy just chilling, doing his normal thing, getting the Dragoon range upgrade. That's called Singularity Charge. It increases the range of Dragoons by 2. His Citadel already finished, so he's got the option to Chrono Boost. He's also got the Rift ability. Teleports up to 5 ground units to the Nexus. So it's like mass recall from the Mothership Core in StarCraft 2, but kind of in reverse. Rather than having rather than needing the Mothership Core, you can grab it from anywhere on the map, and that's what we actually saw GoOdy use last game after his first push over to his opponent's base. Now, Marine production going good. We've also got the Factory and Starport on their way. Factory has a new unit in it too, actually. The Vulture. Spider Mines are incredibly OP. If we get any nice little Vulture play come through, I would explain all about why Spider Mines are awesome. There's also the Goliath, which we can't now see what it does, but basically, as far as I know, it's just a... Okay, yep. Strong versus air units, it's the anti-air, basically like Thor are in StarCraft 2 with their Javelin missiles. Starport, you can make dropships. Haven't actually looked at what else you can get out from those yet, but let's take a little look at the Orbital Command and what's going on here. So you can call down SCVs, not mules. Drops a permanent SCV at a target location. If dropped onto a mineral field, the SCV will begin mining automatically. So it's a way to get more SCVs out. Overcharge is like Chrono Boost, except it allows, obviously, Factory or Starport will produce at a 50% faster rate and barracks at double their normal speed. Also a sweeper scan. It's very similar to any other scan, it just doesn't last as long as it does in StarCraft 2. Now, in we go with the first Dragoon across the map. First few Dragoons, should I add. Gonna just try and poke and prod. This is a very effective strategy. Got to be just a little bit careful. Vultures are out, and this is where you get to see a little bit about Spider Mines. Okay, so they hide until any units get near, and then they unburrow and deal 125 damage to anyone nearby. It's crazy. They also like jump out the ground and fly a little way. Dragoons just poking and prodding. They've got to be careful not to get too low. Able to trade relatively well with Marines. Still good damage against Vultures. Now seems as though NeBu does want to push down. Goes for a little bit more damage. Loses his Vulture though, which isn't ideal. GoOdy getting some good damage here. And he's just going to keep this pressure on. All while he's got pressure, he's denying his opponent's expansion while taking his own. The Banshee out on the map is going to deal additional damage, though Cloak is not an upgrade, it's worth noting. I'll take a look at all the different upgrades there for the moment. Dragoons, though, are able to deal with Banshee very effectively as they attack both land and ground. So, more damage still coming through. Unfortunately, one Dragoon will fall. The Observatory coming down for GoOdy at the moment. He can't make an Observer without the Observatory, which is annoying, or Reavers without the Robotics Bay. Reavers are a siege unit that deals tons of damage but with a very slow attack speed. And, yeah, they're cool. No Colossi. Meanwhile, Dragoons still getting a nice little bit of damage through. 2 Banshee on the map. Just going to be poking out with a bit more damage. Dropships also come out. Battle Cruisers. The Science Vessel makes an appearance. Science Vessels are one of my favourite units. For those of you who don't know what a Science Vessel does, basically it's got the Nerve Jammer and also Irradiate and EMP. Irradiate deals damage over an area. Super good against Mutalisks currently in Starbow. Because in Starbow, Mutalisks can stack up indefinitely. So they can get very, very close and they stay very, very close. Stacking them is very easy. Irradiate then therefore does tons of damage. Expansion coming down now for NeBu at the moment, and over at GoOdy's side, just adding on his Citadel to his natural base. Everything solid, everything good. Getting some upgrades down, will be chrono boosting those because they take an absolute eternity to be made. Observers getting pumped out. We've got good production. No warp gate for anyone just joining us now. Therefore, without warp gate, no quick warp ins. Warp gate can still be researched, but it comes from the Templar archives. Siege Tech on its way out is an upgrade again. Terran Mech, which we are seeing NeBu go for this game, is incredibly powerful but very immobile. Another really awesome thing to note about siege tanks is they can now move and shoot, which allows much greater kiting potential. As you can see here, explosive damage gives us an understanding of how this works. There's no bonus damage against certain unit types. It's 100% or less. So against light units, it only deals 50% damage, up to normal damage versus armored. That means that battles do take a lot longer than in StarCraft 2. Dragoons just waiting for the moment here for GoOdy, just in case anything were to try and make their way through. He's already seen the fact that there are Banshee on the map. Got to be cautious, got to make sure that no damage is going to be coming in from those. Dragoons still just sitting guard any way that really anything could get into GoOdy's base. Twilight Council also coming down. Vulture production now really ramping up, and this is where we can see a lot of damage getting done quite quickly. Tanks sieged up deal a hell of a load of damage, 70 damage per hit, but with a massively lower attack speed. That means that their DPS isn't crazy, but it can decimate an army pretty damn fast. Goliath production getting started as well. Vultures deal concussive damage, means they deal normal damage against light, but less against medium and armored. First Goliath also has made it to the field, and so we get a chance to look at this. So autocannon deals decent damage to ground, not amazing, but it's Hellfire missiles to air, 20 damage per hit. Very nice. I don't know if it does splash. I'm sure someone will let me know in the chat, and that'll be really useful. Okay, so for the moment, these Marines and this Vulture mech army making its way across. It's mainly tanks. If these can get sieged up in a good position, it's going to be very strong. Spider mines are now being researched, and this is where Vultures become very scary. But the Dragoon force from GoOdy is going for the engagement, able to deal significant amounts of damage before the tanks siege up. But blistering amounts of pain coming down now as these siege tanks destroy a lot of Dragoons. But GoOdy, with good spread, able to minimize the amount of splash damage done, and will crush the force from his opponent. So, NeBu is in a small amount of problems. GoOdy able to come down and take his third base, and being on 3 bases is incredibly good, because 3 bases are just ridiculously effective in Starbow because of the increased income you get from each base. This is going to be crazy. Look at this. GoOdy, as he transfers these probes over, once they get going, we'll see just how much it spikes, but good little scan coming down here from NeBu. Just able to see, okay, third base is down, I need to get my own on its way, and that's why he started it. In terms of upgrades, we have +1 done, and the Singularity Charge, that's the Dragoon range, as well as just normal charge there too. Storm is on its way down, the Templar Archive's now done, as well as some DTs coming through. It's worth noting that there is no Dark Shrine. DTs come from the Templar Archive, so therefore having a couple of DTs is going to be fun. Archons do still exist in the game. Third base happily running now for GoOdy. We can see that his income is looking pretty healthy. That's a good amount of minerals and gas for him every single minute. So, vultures are going to come for a little hit and run. Remember, spider mines are available. That's where things can be pretty scary. Photon cannon, very effective against these vultures, especially with 2 of them there, taking them down fast. In terms of worker kills, we can see that only 4 managed to go down there. Probably more was wanted, and that was the aim from NeBu there. Not getting the damage desired. 8 vultures are in production at a time, but that's actually a lie. There's only 4. The overlays, unfortunately, aren't completely compatible with Starbow, so there are some irregularities such as those coming in. Now, attempt at a 3rd base to come down here from NeBu. For the moment, GoOdy doesn't have too much in terms of defense, or in terms of a pushing force rather. His defense is pretty solid. He's getting his first Archon into the mix. Also going for a nice little bit of damage with a DT there. Unfortunately, a scan goes down, able to take it down. Couple of worker kills racked up, but nothing critical. A DT also going to town. You can see the DTs still deal pretty good damage, 43 per hit, are permanently cloaked, and can of course become an Archon as we've already seen. Now, the vultures are able to just come and clean that up with the aid of a scan. Scan costs a lot less energy now, I do believe, if I just double check that. Yeah, it only costs 35 energy. Cooldown SCV costs 25 and 15 for that overcharge, which increases production rate. But a lot of energy is being banked up at the moment on that main base, so while there are significant numbers of scans, which are just seeing absolutely everything come across the map, not much in the way of overcharge. We've got the Arbiter's Tribunal now coming down. I'm not entirely sure what that does. I've not seen a Protoss game go on this long as of yet, so I'm very excited to see what comes through from that. The Dragoon's currently going to assault the 3rd base, which is becoming a planetary fortress, or is a planetary fortress, just doesn't seem to be doing anything at the moment. Planetary fortresses have to be activated, so it can only attack for 30 seconds, and for the moment it would appear that NeBu isn't aware that he has to actually activate it, so the damage is just going through. It's hideous. Absolutely crazy. And well, the 3rd base will fall. GoOdy get himself into a very good position. Currently up 56 to 22 workers. Storm's now starting to go down. Of course, there is the amulet upgrade allowing High Templar to spawn with enough energy to spawn instantly. Always fun. Hasn't actually been researched. Oh no, sorry. Yep, it has been done. So yep, GG is cooled. GoOdy takes this game and therefore advances 1 more match forward in the bracket.